A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, 3 male hostages were released from captivity in the Gaza Strip on Saturday. This release coincided with Israel's decision to free 183 Palestinian prisoners, marking a critical phase in the ceasefire agreement that has temporarily halted 15 months of intense fighting. The hostages, Yarden Bibas, French-Israeli Ofer Calderon, and American-Israeli Keith Siegel, were handed over to Red Cross officials in separate events that unfolded in the southern city of Khan Yunis and Gaza City. All 3 men had been abducted during the Hamas-led attack on Israel on October 7, 2023, which ignited the current war. Their release brings the total number of hostages freed since the ceasefire began on January 19 to 18, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the destruction and despair that has characterized this conflict. Unlike the chaotic scenes witnessed during previous hostage releases, Saturday's events were orderly, with armed militants standing in formation as the hostages walked onto a stage to wave to the crowd before being escorted to safety. Outside the Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis, thousands of Palestinians gathered, anxiously awaiting the arrival of former detainees. Among them was Khalil Halabi, a father waiting for his son Muhammad, who had been arrested in 2016. Khalil expressed mixed emotions, joy for his son's release but sorrow for the destruction that awaited him at home. The ceasefire has allowed for increased humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza, a territory devastated by the ongoing conflict. The health ministry reported that 50 sick and wounded children, accompanied by 61 guardians, were set to be evacuated through the Rafah crossing to Egypt, the only exit point for Palestinians during the war. Mohammed Zakaut, the director of hospitals in Gaza's health ministry, highlighted the urgent need for medical evacuations, noting that over 6,000 patients were ready to leave, with more than 12,000 requiring immediate treatment. In southern Israel, the release of Keith Siegel brought relief to his family and friends, who watched the event unfold on a large screen in Tel Aviv's Hostages Square. Siegel, 65, was taken hostage from the Kfar Aza kibbutz, along with his wife, Aviva, who was released earlier in November 2023. Aviva has since become a prominent figure in the campaign for the release of remaining hostages, including her husband. The release of Yarden Bibas also drew attention to the fate of his wife and 2 young sons, who are still believed to be held captive. The Bibas family expressed their relief at Yarden's return, but lamented the absence of his loved ones, describing their homecoming as incomplete. The emotional toll of the hostage crisis is evident, with families grappling with the uncertainty and trauma of their loved ones' experiences. As the ceasefire enters a critical phase, negotiations for a second round of exchanges are set to begin next week. This phase aims to secure the release of the remaining hostages and extend the truce indefinitely. However, the situation remains precarious, with the potential for renewed violence looming if an agreement is not reached. The ongoing conflict has claimed the lives of approximately 1,200 people, primarily civilians, since the onset of hostilities, while over 47,000 Palestinians have been reported killed in Israel's retaliatory actions. The Israeli military has stated that it is committed to dismantling Hamas, despite the militant group maintaining its control over Gaza. As the world watches these developments unfold, the plight of hostages and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza remain at the forefront of international concern. The hope for peace and resolution hangs in the balance as families await news of their loved ones still held captive, and the broader community yearns for an end to the violence that has plagued the region for far too long. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.